Yo, what up? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another video. So before we get started, make sure that you smash the like button. Make sure you share this video out to all of your social media outlets. Make sure that you drop your boy a comment and make sure that you follow the backup channels on the about page. All right, so let's get into it. So I actually was done with my content for the day. I have a couple videos and some request content that I was gonna do, but I happened to flick onto Twitter and I saw this dumbass tweet by ABC. And it says, over the past year, there's been a rise in anti-Asian bias incidents, hate crimes, and violence. But there's always also been an increase in awareness and outcry over challenges over AAPI. America wants to hear from you. Now, that's cool. And I'm totally with, you know what I mean, not oppressing minority groups and minority groups not having to deal with violence. But NBC has been one of the mainstream media companies attempting to run an anti-Asian black hate crime narrative when the evidence is out on who's doing these crimes. I mean, someone tell me how many Asian crimes have ended with 6 Asian women dead. You know what I mean? Where they specifically did it because they were targeting the individuals. Now, there have been some cases. I did a video on one of my other channels about those 2 disgusting teenagers, the 2 black kids who happened to rape the Asian woman and leave her dead by the pond. But when it comes to these killings, that's an outlier. Professor Black Truth actually did a video where he literally just busted it wide open about who's actually been killing Asian people. The crimes that a lot of the black people are committing against Asian people are crimes that black people commit against black people. And what I find so funny is that they're so concerned about this shit and go ahead and consider, you know, black on black crime hate crime, but they don't do that. They just want to talk about the black on black crime rate because clearly there's a criminal element and then there's a element of people who don't do shit. So they only track this kind of shit when it comes to a certain audience. They're also encouraging Asians to buy, you know, AR-15s and long guns. There's an article by Forbes. Matter of fact, I pull it up on the screen here. You know what I mean? While the rest of the country is being encouraged to not buy guns, and we have the president, the idiot in charge, who is actually trying to ban assault rifles as a result of 2 mass killings that happened. You know what I'm saying? And then there was just a recent one that happened in Virginia Beach. So we already know what's up, you know what I mean? And I find it interesting. They have this article here that says, share examples of your anti-Asian Pacific Islander discrimination and how you're speaking out. Hey, Asian people, as the original minority in this country, just so you know, it doesn't matter what the fuck you say unless they want to listen. You can share this shit as much as you want and they can have 10,000 Xerox copies of it. If you ever piss them off, you'll have to have a HR 41 because everything that you say, they'll come up with some kind of term for it. They'll say, oh, this is Genghis Khan shit, pseudoscience. You know how they say like our shit is Kang shit, pseudoscience and hyperbole? This is Asian. this is Asian Genghis Khan shit. That's literally what they do. Despite the fact that, you know, Asian people have an extraordinarily high average IQ and, you know, excellent test taking skills. Until Xi Jinping gets shit together and China takes over, you still got to get through the biases that happen in the United States. And unfortunately, what's happening is that those Joe Biden down biases are causing a lot of Asians to develop anti-black sentiments. You know, they feel like they have to protect themselves and, quote, have a talk about dealing with black people. Well, you don't. You know what I'm saying? There's not black people looking to injure you. You know what I'm saying? Like, black people have to have a talk about other black people, just like Asian people have to have a talk about other Asian people, like white people have to have a talk about other white people. But the problem is that we live in a country where, you know, you have a whole entire group of people that was socially conditioned and an engineered bottom class and a propaganda machine that runs from the top down that wages a propaganda war against an entire race of people for the rest of the population, such as this. So let's see what this article is talking about. It says, share your examples of anti-Asian Pacific Islander discrimination and how you're speaking out. Well, I'm not Asian and I'm not anti-Pacific Islander. And I love all of the people that live here on the planet. But I'd like to weigh in on this if possible. I'd like to talk about Hiroshima. I'd like to talk about Nagasaki. I'd like to talk about the executive order that Americans felt the need to put Japanese Americans in internment camps. I'd like to talk about the Japanese holding of Chinese women as sex slaves during World War II. That's some pretty bad shit. That's some pretty bad on average shit. Too bad the FBI don't keep statistics of that shit. Know what I'm saying? So this says, over the past year, there's been a rise in anti-Asian bias incidents, hate crimes, and violence. But there's also been an increase in awareness and an outcry surrounding the challenges Asians and Pacific Islanders in America face, some of which the community says are hidden or overlooked. NBC Asian America wants to hear from AAPI across the U.S. and all ages from 10 to 100. What is an instance of discrimination or racism you faced? How are you speaking out now? And did you at the time? Or did you feel that you couldn't? Man, it would be so nice if black people was ever asked any shit like this. It would be nice if motherfuckers actually believed that they were racist against black people. Oh, yeah. Japanese American internment during World War II. That's pretty, pretty hardcore evidence of some anti-Asian American government type shit. And this was in 1941. This was before black people was granted any kind of civil rights. So that means it's not like we were voting for this kind of thing. It wasn't us doing this. So who was it? I hope when they get some of those phone calls, that they talk about that. Wow, they have a whole customer service form. Unreal. Wow. Well, that being said, I can't wait to watch this on NBC. And I really hope that somebody mentions that. And I hope that they mention who did it. Okay? And in case you forgot, I'll make sure that I highlight this part for you. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Let me guess. He was a black man. You can't make it up. So with that being said, man, that's the end of this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you hit the bell icon twice. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up. Follow the main channels. Hit the end screen elements. All right. That would be the rectangle as well as the circles at the end of the video so that you can catch my main channels. Blacklight Revelations 2 is on a strike for hate speech because opinions are now hate speech. And then those people actually say that, oh, we're the only ones that get canceled.